I want you to imagine this. You've worked hard your entire life for this one moment. It all comes down to this. Years, months, weeks, days, hours, minutes, and seconds of hard work, time, physical, and emotional energy. All down to this one chance. Let me take you back to a moment I will never forget. My name is Petra, and I am a 6th grader from New Jersey. In 2018, I was a happy 10-year-old swimmer. I guess you could say that I was born a swimmer. My father swam his entire life and worked hard every day, and he qualified for the Olympic team in 1992. That's what influenced me to start the sport. It was something that my family was really passionate about, and I really enjoyed doing it. My father also knows a lot about it, which means he could help me whenever I need him. So anyways, I was walking up to the starting blocks with my opponents, and I felt a rush of fear go through my body. Once I got up to my block and stood behind it, I took off my parka and could feel the cold air against my skin. I began to stretch, and a few moments later, I heard the official blow the whistle. I stepped up and stood by the edge of the block. The entire pool deck went silent, and that's when I heard the gun go off. I could feel the freezing water as I submerged myself under it. I continued to kick and pull with my arms as I saw myself get closer to the wall. I could feel my limbs get sore, and I was running out of breath. Once my hands shoved against the wall, I looked up and saw I missed the cut for the championships by less than a second. I sighed and pulled myself up out of the water with the rest of the energy left in me. My parents were waving at me from the bleachers, and I walked up to them in disappointment. They still congratulated me for dropping time, though, which was good, but I was really upset with myself. It was the worst feeling knowing that I was supposed to come to this meet and get into the championships, but at that moment I was walking out knowing I could have done better. This might not have been my most successful swim match. In fact, it is far from that. But I can say with confidence that it is my most memorable one because it is the one that I gained the most out of. You might be confused in saying, what did she gain from losing? A world champion tennis player named Andre Agassi said, what makes something special is not just what you have to gain, but what you feel there is to lose. In my case, I have learned that this loss, in fact, is a huge gain. This sport has taught me many important skills throughout my years of doing it. The most important thing that I learned from swimming is discipline. When I have to get out of bed at 5 a.m. for practice, I have the option to sleep in or get out of bed and go train in the cold pool. If I want to get good at something, only I am in charge of pushing myself. Because of swimming, I have given up a lot. One instance that really stands out to me was when a friend was over at my house and we were having a really good time. But she couldn't stay for the night because I had a swim meet the next morning, but I was really looking forward to that. I make these sacrifices to be the best swimmer I can be. My social life with friends is not as consistent as other middle schoolers because of the time I need to devote to swimming and practices and meets. I also have gained mental toughness through swimming. Sure, physically my muscles are growing in my arms and legs, but more importantly is the resilience I have gained. There have been many times where I am drained because of swimming. I have pushed myself to a limit I never thought was possible. My coping skills in the face of adversity have helped me to push through challenging times. My coach gave us a certain amount of time to swim the laps we were told to swim. But it was difficult for me to keep up with the other swimmers. I was exhausted after every practice because of that. This was not enjoyable for me anymore, and I wanted to throw in the towel, literally and figuratively. I thought to myself, why bother? I started to dislike going to practice, which I knew I needed to do if I was going to improve. After some heartfelt talks with my father and my coaches, I was convinced to keep working at it. This has taught me that the mental preparation to be successful can be difficult, but will allow me to achieve excellence. My mind was exhausted, my body was aching, but I actually started to enjoy the practices a lot more because my motivation started to rise from pushing myself. One of the most important factors swimming has taught me is that there are no shortcuts. If I want to get good at something you're passionate about, if you want to get good at something you're passionate about, you have to put all the work and effort in. Nothing is going to be given to you easily if you cut around the corners. A little while ago at swim practice, I'd skipped the set of skills given by the coach by sitting at the wall and pretending that my shoulder or ankles hurt badly. But after practice was over, I felt different. I wasn't tired or out of breath, and my face wasn't red from trying hard. I began to get nervous because I had a competition that upcoming weekend, and I knew without the training I'd never be successful. That weekend, I added times in all of my races and didn't do too well. And from then on, I've always told myself that even if I get tired or I want to give up, I shouldn't make excuses. I know that I want to be a successful swimmer in the future, so now I understand that I'm the one that has to put the effort in and know that I'll never be successful if I cut corners that easily. So, as you can see, a lot is gained from swimming. Is every practice, every meet, every time I step into the pool one where I want to participate in and look forward to? Absolutely not. I'd be lying if I said that I enjoy every single time my toes hit the cool water. But after giving this TED Talk and seeing in my writing that I am gaining, I'm actually quite pleased with myself. For pushing myself beyond my limits. It takes a lot for me to admit things like this, and even writing this TED Talk was one where I believe I was able to accomplish it because of what I've learned in swimming. There will be many more times where I'll be disappointed in my races. And even if my parents are proud of me, part of my personality is that I will be hard on myself. It's times like these that will allow me to keep pushing myself to get better and better, all while gaining so many life skills that I can use beyond the swimming pool. Although my goal is to get to the same level as my father, I know I'm going to have to put in a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to do so, and experience a lot of failure as well. So what I'm leaving you with is this. It might not be swimming that is your passion. It could be anything. But take your passion and break it down into the gains you're growing from. Because there's so much you can be gaining that will help you beyond the sport or activity or hobby itself. Thank you.